You're welcome to the Mental Health Podcast with Serenity Castle. Today, I have here with me a very, very interesting guest, and her name is Chi. She is a smart recovery expert, and Chi, you're welcome to our podcast session.
Thank you, Evelyn. It's good to be here.
Okay, thank you. So today we are going to be talking about smart recovery. I mean, the first time I actually heard about, the word smart recovery, I was like, okay, so everything is now going smart. We have smartphones, we have smart houses, smart everything. I mean, so now we now have smart recovery, and I'm very sure that a lot of people out there will actually, have this curiosity to know what smart recovery is and how it can actually help them or their loved ones in the recovery journey. So I would like to ask, what is smart recovery? I mean, I'm very sure a lot of people out there would also want to know what smart recovery is.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. Actually, your assumptions are in line. A lot of persons wonder, smart. What does what's smart? What's smart about it? So, well, recovery in itself is not
Yeah.
just hanging on one leg. Recovery hangs on three legs: medication, counseling, and support. So, smart recovery is a mutual support program, a peer support program that is established for people with all forms of addictive behavior.
Okay.
It runs purely on the basis of mutual support. So group meetings happen now and then to enable people achieve their addiction recovery goals.
Okay.
So yeah.
So is it like a peer support thing?
Peer
Like
support.
a peer group. So what's now the diff? Because I heard you mention like support peers and all. So what now the difference between like a support group and smart recovery?
They are not they're not differentiated from each other. They're actually one and same. So smart recovery has a model. There's a model of care.
Okay.
So some model of care involves a professional and a client. Some model of care involves a professional, a client, and family in the same room. Smart recovery's model is a facilitator,
Okay.
the client, and peers. That means people who are also on their own recovery journey. So it becomes mutual support because the conversations do not focus on the facilitator as an expert,
Okay.
so to say. So you're not teaching anything, though they are psychoeducative sessions, but then it is a session that is based upon the wisdom of others. So people bring up challenges, and then based on the smart recovery tools and techniques, clients can offer advice and words of encouragement one to another on the recovery journey.
That's really interesting. Okay, so is it now very safe to say that the people in that group they have similar challenges?
I think that would be accurate.
Oh, okay, nice. Thank
Similar challenge, but not similar goals.
you.
And
Okay.
I will probably talk about that subsequently.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So I would like to know, how does an individual benefit from smart recovery? I mean, having know what smart recovery is and what it really means. How can people benefit from it?
Okay, let me go backwards a little bit. Smart recovery originated in the United States
Okay.
in 1994. Started with a couple of meetings, but now we are in about 37 countries and thousands of meetings happen on a daily basis.
Wow.
Everywhere in the world, online and in person. So smart recovery is different because it is evidence-based. We have
Okay.
on the advisory board psychologists.
Sorry, when you say evidence-based, what do you
research
mean?
backed.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So the smart recovery tools and techniques are developed with science. So it offers some sort of group counseling intervention for people.
Okay.
So how can people benefit from it? Well, like I said, people could be in the same room with the same challenge. All of them want to recover from addiction, but not the same goal. So either your goal is abstinence or your goal is moderation or harm reduction. Smart recovery has something to offer you. Our agenda is actually four. We have four agenda in SMART. One, building and maintaining motivation for recovery, coping with urges, that's number two, managing thought, feelings, and emotions and behavior, and living a balanced lifestyle. So when you look at this agenda, you can begin to see where you fit in to the program.
Okay.
So this meeting could help me cope with my urges, or it could help me build and maintain my motivation. Or if you feel your own need is to balance your emotions, to find a balance between your emotions and your behavior and your thoughts, smart recovery can come in. Or even if it's living a balanced lifestyle, that okay, after my addiction treatment, what next? How do I move on to live life in a fulfilling way? Smart recovery can definitely also be of help to that.
That's a very insightful answer you gave.
Thank you.
So how can families also benefit from this? Because I believe every therapy or every step someone goes through in the process of recovery, and I believe the family also expects some kind of feedback from it.
Exactly.
So how can families benefit from this smart recovery? Knowing that your loved one is going through smart recovery and they're actually going through a particular therapy called smart recovery. So what's actually their own benefit?
Okay, so a bit of disclaimer: smart recovery is not therapy,
Okay.
and it's not a substitute for therapy. But then to answer your question, definitely we understand the place of family and caregivers in anybody's recovery journey. So in smart recovery, we run different kinds of meetings actually.
Okay.
There are the meetings that are for people in recovery, smart recovery for those in recovery. There's a meeting that is tailored for veterans, that's former military people. So their own discussions are tailored towards dealing with the challenges that veterans would face, veterans with an addiction they're recovering from. There's also a smart recovery meeting that is tailored for family and friends. So we call it smart recovery family and friends.
Okay, so even as an individual, I have my loved one in care. There's also a smart recovery program
for you.
me.
Exactly. Wow. And in those meetings, you learn how best to help your loved one. But most importantly, you also learn how to define yourself, because we understand seeing someone through recovery can be a very difficult thing.
It is actually very difficult.
It can drain you in different ways, financially, emotionally, socially. So you also need healthy ways of coping through that. So that's just a few of the things I will talk about in the smart recovery family and friends.
Oh, wow, that's very good. So are there actually specific, mental challenge or mental illnesses that smart recovery can be used, or is just for any kind of mental challenge or mental illness?
Well, our tools, probably if I had time to talk about some of them, you'll see how they could be beneficial for all forms of condition. Even if someone feels they don't have an addiction, you could find smart recovery beneficial. However, focusing on our agenda, like I shared before, when you look at the things we talk about, you see that it's tailored towards addiction.
So just for people with addiction.
So I won't say just for, but I'll say primarily the service offering, people who have an addiction they're recovering from will find it most beneficial. However, like we all know, the field of SUD, substance use disorder, about 50% of clients come with a comorbidity, a co-occurring mental health condition or physical health. So if we understand that some persons could be in that meeting with co-occurring conditions, someone could be there with depression, with anxiety, with traumatic disorder, personality disorder as well. So we have tweakings and turnings and what do I call accommodation for those kind of things. So whatever your condition is, you might find smart recovery beneficial. So I'm not going to call it off for anyone.
It's not limited to a particular condition.
It's not limited, but it's primarily designed for addictive conditions.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's cool. So what role does you just mentioned that it is primarily designed for people that are addicted, right?
People with addictions.
People with addictions. Yeah. So what role does smart recovery actually, play in substance use treatments? I mean, substance use can also be termed as addiction, right?
Yes. So even though I have used the word recovery a lot, and in the continuum of care in substance use or addiction, we have the screening and assessment and intake, we have treatment, then recovery. That's the journey people pass through. So someone could say, I'm still in treatment, I'm not in recovery yet, so I've not
So there is
really.
a difference
So the person
being
is
in
still not
treatment and
stable.
recovery.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
So there is
I'm
still,
just knowing
that's why
that.
we still run smart recovery meetings in
Hmm.
rehabilitation centers.
Okay.
And in fact, some very big hospitals, psychiatric hospitals, have smart recovery programs in them, even though these people are not in recovery yet. So what's the role smart recovery plays? In smart recovery meeting, people can find what their plan exactly is. Because you cannot enter recovery without a plan. So smart recovery will enable you to discover what exactly do you want to change about this addiction? What exactly do you want out of your life? So developing those goals and even building motivation to start the recovery journey can still be found in smart recovery meetings. Most importantly, one of the greatest fear of people in treatment is, so after now, what will my life be?
What next?
What next? So in smart recovery meetings, you can already start to brainstorm unlikely situations or conditions in the future that might make your recovery difficult and already start coming up with solutions for them. So yes, those are some of the roles that smart recovery can play for those who are yet in treatment.
In other words, it gives you, like an insight of your problem and how to solve it.
But also in addition, smart recovery meetings offer some sort of psychoeducation.
Okay.
So if you don't know what addiction is, you just didn't know. In smart recovery meetings, you could begin to discover, because I already told you it is science backed.
Yeah, evidence-based.
Evidence-based. So you would learn what addiction is. You will learn what addiction does to people. So all of those learnings, I'm picking from your word insight, would enable you, plan your recovery, and relapse prevention, as the case may be.
Yeah, I agree with you, because I know there are so many people that, at some point they start to get addicted to a particular thing or a particular drug, and then, they don't just know that they're getting addicted, and so that was why when you said it will help you know that you're actually getting addicted to a particular thing, because some people actually don't know. I mean, I can be addicted to a particular drink. Let me use that as an example. And at the end of the day, I don't know I'm getting addicted to it, but I mean, I can't do without it. I can't stay without it. I can't even cope without it. So it is, I think it's a very good one. So does it now mean that even people without a pre-diagnosed condition of addiction can go into smart recovery?
So I like that you asked that question. And I think being a smart recovery facilitator, and also actually I'm privileged to also be a global master trainer for smart recovery.
Nice.
So I think it's my duty to say what we are not.
Okay.
So smart recovery is not a diagnostic program. So I would advise anyone, don't come to smart recovery meetings seeking a diagnosis. Because if you go away and say, I think I have an addiction, and someone say, when do you know? I found out in a smart meeting. That's not true. That's not right. So it's not diagnostic.
Okay.
If you feel so, what smart recovery could do is, by the time you begin to hear people's experiences and begin to walk through some tools, you begin to see the compulsive things in your life that are kind of taking control from you.
Okay.
So what that's supposed to do is to make you go to a specialist, maybe a psychologist, to have an in-depth assessment to actually get a diagnosis. So smart recovery is not diagnostic. But like I said, when you think about the fact that building and maintaining motivation, anybody could need that.
Yeah.
Managing tough inside emotions, anybody could need that.
Living
Living a balanced lifestyle, anybody could need that.
Definitely.
So it increases the variety of people who would find smart recovery meetings beneficial. However, you need to have in mind that the conversation would mostly be tilted towards addiction. So you don't find that offensive.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Chi.
Thank you.
It's very, very insightful. I mean, I'm very educative, I must say. Before now, when I heard of smart recovery, I was like, okay, smart recovery. I would really like to know what it means anyways. So what actually makes this smart recovery different from every other, because I know we have CBT, we have other behavioral therapies. So what makes it special? What makes it different from every other recovery? Why should I even go for smart recovery? Because it's like this is new to the treatment space. I mean, so why should I go for smart recovery? What makes it so special? Smart recovery.
Yeah, being just 30 years old, I guess you can say it's pretty new. So,
Okay.
SMART actually stands for something:
Okay.
self-management and recovery training.
Hmm. Self-management and recovery training.
So when you look
Makes
at
sense.
that acronym, it already begins to give you an insight on the uniqueness and actually emphasis on two words: self and training.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about CBT, though I would not compare SMART with those things because it's not a competition.
Okay.
This is why I say so. Most of our SMART tools are derived from cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, dialectic behavioral therapy, DBT.
DBT.
You get solution focused therapy, all of those things. Meditation and relaxation, mindfulness. That's where most of our smart recovery tools are derived from. But I would say what makes smart recovery different from other mutual support programs like Alcohol Anonymous, you've heard of those other ones, is because one, in smart recovery, we focus on self.
Okay.
Unlike probably other programs like AA who would say, oh, I depend on a higher power to help me, I'm
To help
helpless.
people.
So in smart, we emphasize the fact that you have control. The keys are in your hands. You've got a choice whether to quit or not. It's with you. So what smart recovery does is to empower you. It's empowering. It empowers the self. Secondly, why smart recovery could be different from others is that we don't consider addiction. So a lot of people ask questions: do we consider addiction a disease or not? Smart recovery has no say on that. No stance.
Whether it's a disease or not.
We just focus on solving whatever goal the person has. So whether it's a disease or not, we're out of that. Also, smart recovery is not spiritually based. So that means we don't talk religion, spirituality. Though people could bring this up in smart meetings, you will not be shut up. Someone is not going to tell you, oh, don't worry, don't talk about that. But we will be sure to remind you that whether you are spiritually inclined or not, you will still find smart recovery beneficial. And I think maybe the last thing I would say that differentiates smart recovery from the rest is the vast how do I put it, resource of support you have. Like I said, smart recovery is global. You can access a meeting online anytime from anywhere in the world. And these meetings are designed with science in mind. So it's just going to be educating on a whole new level. And actually, in SMART, even though we are an abstinence-based program, your goal doesn't have to be abstinence for you to find it relevant.
In totality.
Exactly. So when people come and say, my goal is not to quit totally, we're not going to pursue you from the SMART meeting. You still find it beneficial. Though we are an abstinence-based program, we encourage total abstinence. Yeah, so that's one of the differentiators.
Oh, wow, thank you so much. I would like to ask, so you've been carrying out this, smart recovery program for some time.
3 years.
Oh wow, 3 years. Wow, that's quite an experience. So can you say, or can you tell me the success rates? I mean, from you've seen a lot of clients, people come do smart recovery, they are being discharged from the hospital, they go back home, and stuff like that. What's the success rate like with smart recovery?
So data that we know says 40 to 80% of people would likely relapse within 1 year of treatment.
Yeah, true.
In my own experience, I think I would say the success rate of people who attend our smart recovery programs in their ability to stick to their recovery goals, I would put that success rate at about 50 to 60%, which I think is pretty high.
Yeah.
Because you see clients who have probably left treatment many months ago, and when you ask them, what do you remember of your case? It's smart recovery. Because one is accessible, and meanwhile our meetings are free of charge. You don't have to pay to attend. So that's the much I can say about that. It's been pretty successful. Top of mind, I know of a client who I did see about 2 years ago plus. Today he's a smart recovery facilitator.
Oh wow!
That's to tell you how much he found the smart meeting beneficial. Just so you know, a lot of facilitators around the world, in fact, about half or more than half of the facilitators are people who have their own recovery journey.
Hmm.
Do you get? People who
Yeah.
are also on this journey.
On the
This is a way for
journey
them to give back.
to
So
give back to the
that's how much
society.
it's
Wow,
working.
thank you so much, Chi. This is a lot of information actually, and I'm very sure that people out there watching this, um, you already have a very vast knowledge of just watching this video alone. I mean, it's very eye-opening and it's very, very educative. So how can people access this program, especially those in Nigeria, in Lagos? So how can we access this program?
Okay, so we have a few rehabilitation centers in Nigeria that offer smart recovery. We have Serenity Castle that offers smart recovery programs. Yeah, sure. So that's one. Also, you can go to smartrecovery.org to find meeting locations nearest to you. Also, you can access some of our resources online on smartrecovery.org. So yeah, you can hear from that.
Oh, thank you so much, Chi. So you've heard her. Serenity Castle also offers smart recovery. So all you just need to do is, call the number below on your screen for more information and make more inquiries. Thank you so much, Chi,
Thank you,
for
Evelyn.
joining us in the studio today. I hope we'll have you some other time.
I hope so.
So from me to you, bye-bye.